What's going on, guys? Oh yeah, it's working. So we got Stanley back. Stanley's guest star. He's back. Um, One thing I want to talk about. Um, we privated some old videos, and the reason behind that is our employers made us really think about it, and we don't want to be known for the characters that we have created for ourselves online because some of it is a character and some of it is how we are personally, and I think we want to give you guys more of a personal look at how we are as people, not so much as a character. So, some new stuff before we get into some of today's topics. We are on Spotify now. We are on iHeartRadio. We're slowly growing. Kind of got the speed bump with having to get rid of some of the old stuff, you know. But we enjoyed it. You know, it just wasn't truly us, and I think that we need to be a little more true to who we are as people. The lessons are there, but the skit of some of the stuff is not real, which is comes to like attitude, some of our personality. You know, when we talk to each other, we don't cuss constantly. We don't.
Yeah.
You know, it's kind of made up stuff that we do for you guys. But I think it's time to kind of get more true to ourselves.
Yeah.
But Stanley's enjoyed enough to come back, so
Absolutely.
well, I'm digging it. We got three of the best people on the planet here.
And rule the world someday.
Absolutely.
If you want to be on the podcast, drop a comment. Stanley's gonna be on for many more to come. I know he loves this stuff, and
I do actually. I absolutely love it. Last time I was very nervous, so y'all just have to forgive that. I was just nervous, but since then I'm a lot more relaxed this time. I'm enjoying it way more this time than I did last time. This time about 3 minutes in, I was like freaking out. Like, what am I gonna do? What am I gonna say? You know.
Yeah, I was gonna be like, do you need me to hold your hand?
Let's say, yeah, could you please? Yeah, that's more of what we're really like. Yeah, right there. We like to joke with each other, cut up and everything, but no, man, I appreciate y'all letting me come back. I really did. I had so much fun that I actually started watching other podcasts just to see what they did. So, like, for my generation, it kind of got me into like something that I would not have been into. So, it is something different. It's been kind of a fun little ride. So, I appreciate that.
I do have some notes for this podcast. Some topics that I think are controversial, but also this is going to be interesting because you have two different generations here with two different, maybe three different answers to some of these topics. Number one, I guess I'll start off with number one, is which jobs will look different in 10 years? And when I ask that question, you got to think about AI, modern technology. So off the top of your heads, I'll let you guys answer first, and then I'll answer at the end. What jobs do you think are going to look entirely different than what they look like now? I guess start with Blake.
I think the jobs that will get affected first will be jobs that require counting.
I get that. I see that.
Counting numbers and calculating things, and also maybe like decorating things like on a billboard or something.
Yeah.
So like art could also be one of the things that could be taken. I don't believe construction or officers or firefighters or nurses and doctors or medics, they can't be. I don't see them getting taken over by AI. Maybe in 100 years from now, but
yeah, that'd be kind of hard though.
That would be kind of hard for AI.
I don't see it. I don't see like RoboCop, but
yeah,
I do see.
Right.
We already see stuff where they use like what the little things that go out and grab the bombs and stuff. So they have like little remote control things to go pick up bombs and things. But you said something about like art, so like intricate stuff, like cars, building on cars, like the
stuff like
that stuff, like the welding of like electronics, that kind of stuff.
I'm not talking about like painting and like.
I think that's gonna happen, like you said with the billboards. I could see where I think that's already starting to happen, where they just basically run it through and it kind of
they just use AI to make
I think it's gonna get more.
Even ads can be made.
I think it's gonna get more intricate.
Well, have you seen on Roku where it's like the ads, it'll have like a disclaimer at the bottom where it'll say like, this app was made with the AI?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Like, bro, like, they don't even hire people for ads anymore. Like, what is this?
Well, they're saving money. I mean, if they got to pay me to be an actor,
Yeah, I mean, all they
Right,
need
you
to do
see.
is spend like what $50, and they can make an entire ad that would make them a lot of money.
Now, Stanley, what do you think? What do you think will be affected the most in 10 years?
I'm gonna disagree with the construction thing because
Like,
Oh no,
he was
I,
saying-
I,
he
I
was
was
saying
saying
couldn't
no. I was saying
you said that construction
will-
wouldn't be affected, and I think it will, because so right now, basically, so say you're gonna build a house, somebody's got to draw those plans. Some guys got to sit there and figure out how many 2x4s, how many of this, how many of that.
Yeah,
put
that's
it all
like that's
together.
calculating thing.
I think the AI eventually says, "Hey, you want this house? You want it to look like this? Bam!" And
Yeah.
it shoots a picture out, tells you what you need. Here's your cuts, to the point to where your crew gets smaller. You don't need all these people you're paying in the office.
Yeah, I was mainly
that
talking
goes
about
back to the
the
counting
people that were
thing.
actually building the house.
Like laboring.
yeah, laboring wise.
But no, I
don't
get
think
what
so.
you're saying.
You would need a
I don't think
robot.
so. I agree with you that I don't think they could make a robot go build a house.
Yeah, so, I mean,
But-
they don't have the. I mean, I'm sure one day.
With that
will
being
happen,
said, GPS is already so when they build roads now, so a bulldozer can be programmed to grade as it's going.
but-
So if you can already do that with GPS, and it shoots from a laser to the so if you ever look, there's a line that runs down the side of the road, and it tells the blade how far to go up and down. So all you got to know how to do with a bulldozer is make it go forward and backwards. It does all the other work itself. It's programmed in.
Oh.
Yeah, machine
So
wise,
if it can do that, if you can program it to go forward and backwards, you don't need nobody inside of there.
Yeah.
I mean, I guess if it went rogue and went to the left or something, it'd be hard to stop it.
smoothie machine went rogue, you ran over a
I
car.
ran over a few vehicles over there. I think you're always going to have some kind of a person
Well, maintenance is going to be
overseeing
forever.
it to some sort. You know, I do think AI is going to do some things that we can't even imagine.
Yeah,
I think there's things that we can't even talk about yet because it's beyond what we can understand because it's so sophisticated that our brains can't think like that yet.
it's
I
my
think-
personal opinion. If AI ever got a consciousness, I
Oh,
I
gosh.
believe,
It's the end of times, dude.
dude, it would be like the Age of Ultron.
Well, dude, they can
Dude.
create whatever they want.
Yeah,
You know, like-
and it also, since it's AI, it can connect to anything it wants. So it can connect. Say if
Oh, your GPS to escape? Like, yeah,
Yeah.
that's gone.
I mean, yeah, I mean, it doesn't
100%.
matter. You can destroy whatever it's in, but
You call mom?
that's not destroying
You
it.
call mom, you call Ultron, like, like it's like it was something. Dog. It's like, oh, what?
You like call the phone, it answers, and it goes like, "Hey, Pookie."
That's great. That is great.
I guess I'll
That would be
answer.
a nightmare.
So how about you?
I think generically, I think all white collar jobs. So like, I call it nerd jobs, but you know, respect to those people that do it. Accounting,
See that.
building drawing,
Mhm.
people that write plans for like automotive. You know, creating sketches of like what's safer the next year.
Yeah,
I think
I
people
can
that,
see
that draw the plans for roads. I think a lot of planning on the blue collar side is going to be taken care of by AI.
Mm-hmm.
I think the hard work will still be there, like the people that putting the beams up, you know, laying that A base, you know, people that are, you know, I can't really put much with cars because a lot of AI is doing cars now, but yeah, definitely first responder stuff will be good for the most part. I mean, I know cops have the drones that take care of the bombs.
So you just brought up something I was just thinking about. So we got some gas stations where in Walmart's,
Mhm.
it's self-checkout.
Right.
I could see a gas station being ran by AI.
I could see that.
I could see
I
that
could see
happening.
that.
You know, something like that, something that's a one-man job sometimes, especially overnight, maybe. It would reduce, you know, your robberies because there's nobody to rob.
People were able to take the machine.
You know,
I mean,
yeah,
like-
maybe the machine knows to lock the door.
Right.
I don't know. I mean,
Well, and they could probably like, you know, and you know how crazy this is going to get because cameras already have AI to identify people. They could be like, this guy has a history in Florida of,
Just by
Robberies.
looking at the face. Yeah.
and then just lock the doors. You know,
and
like,
just not let them in.
I mean, and I don't know, obviously, because we're not in that time, but like, I could see that being the future. Now, I will tell you what, you know what will always be there is the people that work on the machines. So,
Yeah.
you know, if I'm alive to see that, which I doubt, I think I'll be old and retired by the time AI really starts taking over job markets. Luckily, our jobs, which we'll tell you guys at some point, is safe for now. But I think 100, maybe 100, 200 years from now, it maybe not be, but you know.
Real quick before we change topics, if any of y'all got an idea from something we said, I mean, 10%, I'll take it. You know, if y'all come up with an idea and AI starts doing it, so
Yeah.
hook me up.
Yeah, we
Yeah.
we want opinions.
I mean, I could
We wanna
take
know
a
what
penny
y'all
or
are
two. You
thinking
know?
about, so.
The next topic I have wrote down, and we'll start from Blake and work ourselves this way.
Okay.
Because I'm sure this one here is going to connect more with Blake. Do smartphones make us more connected or more distracted?
I feel like
This is a tough one. Because you're more connected because you can see what they're doing.
and you're more. You're more. I mean, you can connect with people that are farther away from you. And all that
Right.
stuff. I get that. Now I would say it's like a 50-50.
It's kind of how
It's
I'm
like
at,
both. So I mean, if somebody, say if you're hanging out with someone and all they're doing is glued to their phone, or say if they're in class trying to learn something,
Right.
The teacher's trying to teach, and all they just on their phone. So that would be a way of saying it's like distancing. Or but I mean, as to make contact, or like, to make plans or whatever. But
Right.
I mean, it's still 50-50. But I do believe, phones are a really good thing that I think everyone should have. But it also could be a bad thing getting it at a young age. Kind of.
I do agree with that. I do
So,
think that young age.
I do agree with that too.
I think age really doesn't matter about you getting a phone because I mean, like, I've seen it plenty of times. There'd be like a 10-year-old will get the phone and then blah blah blah, and now they're
glued to it.
now they're glued to it, or they got themselves into something they didn't know was going to happen, and
Well, what is your opinion? Because I know you're from a different generation. Because we come up in the generation of, the evolution of the BlackBerry to the iPhone. So I'm kind of curious.
So I actually go a little further than the BlackBerry. I actually go back to the.
You go back to bag phones.
Actually, before that. So the first cell phone I ever seen, my dad come home one day with I think it was a Toyota pickup, one of them little smaller ones, and the entire behind the seats, there was a box there. That was the battery. So it was like, I don't know, 3 foot long and say 6 by 6 inches. That was the first phone, and I remember we sat in the yard and just called mom in the house, and that was like the coolest thing in the world. But basically, you could just make a phone call. Same thing with BlackBerry. You started being able to text a little bit. You had to hit the same number several times to get the letter you wanted or whatever. But so for my generation, growing up where you had the rotary, and if I want to talk to y'all at the same time, I had to I had to have a party line. If I didn't pay for that party line, to talk to you, then you'd have to call him, and he'd have to call me back, and we might make plans like 2 days later of what we were going to do. I think it sped life up, which is a good and bad thing. The negative that I think is it's so easy for me to send you a text now, which is great and bad. So I can shoot you a text saying, hey, I'm about to show up, but that's a good thing. But I can also shoot you a text where you misunderstand what I meant because you're reading it the way you read it, but I'm sending it the way I meant it to sound.
Right.
And it's misunderstood.
Yep.
That happens a lot. I do think that for my generation that did not grow up with, our computers basically you could type on them. It wasn't, in high school and stuff, it wasn't, it was Commodore 64. It was very, the very beginnings of what y'all have now. But it is nice for my generation to go and say, hey, how do I take this part out of this particular item, whatever it is I'm trying to work on, and I can find a video, I can find a how-to, or I can research something that is more y'all's generation to help me understand it better. Like emojis or something like that. Some of my age group, we don't understand all the emojis, that kind of stuff. Some of us do, but some of them we may not know. But the worst part is everything now is connected to it. So your vehicle's connected to it, your house connected to it, and I do think it's such a distraction that growing up, coming home where you sat down and your dad chewed your butt out because you did something wrong and you were sitting at the dinner table, so you didn't eat dinner for like a week because you was in trouble. Because he always did it at dinner table, but that don't happen no more.
No, not
So
not at all.
so it's happening over the phone. You see people driving down the road and they're on it and they're swerving all over the place, and then they get in a wreck and, well, I was texting and driving or something.
Yeah. That's a shame.
I just think that I think it's I kind of have to agree with you. It's kind of a 50-50 with me because there are a lot of benefits, like I said, for learning and things that you can just tip of your fingers is there, which is great. But also the downside of that is you get so tied into that quick. I'm fixing life quick that sometimes you're fixing life so fast that you don't fix it properly.
I will say,
That's my opinion.
from my point of view, I'm going to say more 75% bad and 25% good. And I'll explain.
I'm okay with that.
I'll start with 25% good. The 25% good is if I need to get in contact with Stanley, I can text him, I can call him, whatever. Same with Blake. I can text him, call him. Smartphone's good if I need to get in contact with someone quickly. The negatives that I'm gonna get into. I've noticed throughout life that me and Blake come in a pinnacle time where the evolution happened from the flip phone to the BlackBerry to the iPhone. I feel like people aren't as connected. And the reason I say that is we may be more connected by seeing photos that are like, oh, I was at the Bahamas or I was with my wife or what. But people don't get out and associate like they did before. People once upon a time used to come to your house. People used to meet up with you. People used to do stuff with you. With the evolution of technology, people feel like they're caught up enough by just looking at the photos you post, but you haven't heard their voice in, years.
Well, we can hang out like this, right?
Right,
I mean,
right. But
if
that's
I'm recording
not,
you and you recording you, we're hanging out, right?
But even then, though, it's like, like let's say I'm FaceTiming and I'm on, video call with Stanley or video call with Blake. It's not the same, versus here. I hate to say this because we only drink when we podcast. I haven't drank a beer in a week, which is every week we podcast and that's when we upload. And it takes about a week to drink a beer. I don't drink every single day. I don't drink.
It's like
often.
me having a phone propped up right here and saying I'm here for the podcast.
Right.
I'm on the FaceTime.
Right.
I got my beer reviews across.
I don't do that.
Oh, that's great.
But
and I'm texting underneath the table at the same time myself.
But sometimes it's nice to be able to just hang out with people face to face, drink a beer with them, maybe cook a steak on the grill, cook a hamburger, cook a hog over a fire. That is ancient.
Punch your buddy in the shoulder.
I've never
you
had
can't
a
do that over the phone.
fire.
Cooking a hog over a fire is ancient now.
How about just standing by a fire?
Well,
even if you're not cooking the hog, just standing by a fire and just talking.
Yeah.
Like a general conversation is.
It's not common.
Gone.
It's not common anymore. Like, what happened to the days of let's say we're all off on the same day. What if we stayed up all night and cooked a hog? Like, I want to do that.
I actually want to do
I'd
that.
love to do that.
Let's cook a fucking hog over a fire. All of us off work.
But I want to be in the air conditioner watching y'all on the video on my phone so that I don't have to experience the heat.
And that's another thing. That's another thing I want to get into.
I got me some takeout right here.
I'm sorry, I can't help it, but
I think that social, and this is where I think smartphones are great. I'll put it like this. Let's say I'm working on my truck. I'm working on my lawnmower. I'm working on whatever. Smartphone's great. 100%. I can look up, how do I fix this? How do I do this? What's going on today? Because before you had to hear it from somebody else, and it could have been week-old news. This is what it was. Or you had to get the paper. Who here remembers the paper?
Okay.
I bet
now you get back into my time.
Well, no, when I was a kid though, people used to still read the paper. So I talk to kids now that are like, what's the paper? It's like, what?
Well,
that was the news. That was like
instead of live TV news.
Funny story.
Right.
Funny story. I was on vacation last week, and I won't say where, but I was on vacation a week ago, and they've got this. Don't quote me, but is it Waterworks where the house is upside down or whatever? Anyway.
I know what you're talking about. In there,
is so there was a song in the 80s called I don't know 938675 whatever the numbers were for the song whatever, and there's a actual phone.
9675.
There you go, there one, and you got to do the rotary phone.
Yeah.
And the kids with me, which are 9 and 10 years ago, what is that? There was an
Yeah.
Atari there, and they was like, what is that?
Oh gosh.
So you only had one button and one toggle stick. So that's the equivalent to the cell phone, because that's what our video games were there. Where now video games are unreal. I mean, you know, kind of, you're talking about AI. What are video games going to be like in 10 years? But when I seen that was a good
VR.
That's a
VR
great,
gonna be crazy.
That's a great explanation. What of both of those topics we just talked about is the rotary phone to a cell phone. Like, so these kids literally did not know how. Like, they didn't understand how to dial out.
Right.
So I was showing them, and they were just amazed that y'all really it took that long. And that was the question I got. It took that long. I was like, yeah. Then if you got a busy signal, you had to keep doing it, over and over and over,
Your little fingers gonna get tired.
Absolutely.
What about VR? Where, you think at some point they're actually gonna make it where it can somehow connect to your brain and then put you to sleep. And
Elon Musk is doing that chip. Elon Musk is doing that chip.
So
that's gonna be wild.
I will tell you.
Is that the Antichrist?
So
listen, we can get deep with that. We can get deep with that. Mark of the Beast and stuff.
So it like literally puts you like into a world, and you're like,
I'm sorry.
That would be fucking.
That was aggravating me.
You get Mark of the Beast like there.
Oh
no, I'm not talking about like a chip. Like it's something. It's like something I saw on a show one time. It's like a headset.
Oh no! Well,
that you put on, and then it would connect to your brain.
Well, Elon Musk is doing it where like he puts a chip in your brain.
A chip. And I wasn't talking about those.
Well, I mean, if he's gonna pay enough money, he can. I mean, I heard he just became the first trillionaire. Is that right?
Maybe.
Wasn't something about a?
No, I mean, if that's the next one, because only billionaires, right?
Billionaires, and then I'm pretty sure you got trillionaires.
So on my AI phone and my smartphone, he became the first trillionaire today.
Oh shit!
Because the thing with the space ships, the SpaceX, it was estimated over 1.7 trillion today. So he's the first trillionaire.
Oh.
So if he wants to put a chip in my head, at my age, I mean, if he gives me $1 million and lets me have fun for about a couple of years. Oh, I don't want to do that. I just want to have the chip.
Well, because like if it's the Mark of the Beast, you
no,
go
my bad. I just wanted to get paid.
I'm sorry.
I didn't mean that, y'all. Please, I don't.
I don't think it. I mean, it depends.
I misunderstood that part of the conversation.
I will say this.
I think a Mark of a Beast is like.
I will say
it's
this.
Like wasn't there going to be like something that was in your wrist,
something in your hand or forehead,
to like get anything?
It says in your hand or in your wrist or forehead.
I'm not gonna go down the road.
I'm not going down the rabbit hole.
I do have some answers, but I don't want to go down that rabbit hole.
Well, we'll definitely talk about that after.
Yeah.
The next thing is what side hustles in today's society actually work, and I'm gonna start this off. Before we go down the line.
TikTok.
I'm gonna tell you right now.
I almost said one. It was so
no,
bad, but I almost said one.
This is the big stuff. The big stuff here.
No, well, legit.
I see this.
Or so wait a minute. Do you want a legit one that a normal everyday guy can do, or do you want just side hustles in general?
Well, what side hustles today? If I decided I was gonna quit my job,
but that's not a side hustle. The side hustle is you got to keep your job.
I'm sorry.
It's something you do on the side.
I will say this.
You gotta make a profit.
You gotta make a profit.
Something you make a profit while you're not at work. Okay.
And I will start this off because I wanna get this out. My TikTok's full of this. Landscapers, bro. There's 1,000 people cutting grass. A, B. There's 1,000 big companies that are cutting grass. And I'm not saying like if you're a teenager and you want to cut a few yards and make $100 every 2 weeks, whatever. But as a grown man in today's economy, you are not going to get by with doing a side hustle of cutting grass, okay? Depending on where you're at. I mean, maybe if you're out in the country and maybe you're out middle of nowhere, maybe, but let's say the average spot, the average person.
The rich person you are.
Especially in your city.
I mean, if you want to come cut my grass, I will pay you. If you're a teenager and want to.
Yeah, $20. $20. 5 acres.
I'm gonna pay you a little better than that, but
$5 an hour.
Because you're cheaper than my landscaper, so which is me, and I don't want to cut grass.
So. When I say side hustles at work.
Okay, I like that idea. So if you're working a 40-hour-a-week job, let's just say 40 hours a day. All right. So you're working a 40-hour-a-week job, and it's something you can do, say, after work for an hour or two or on the weekends.
Right.
But it's got to pull a profit.
Right.
So, and that profit doesn't have to be, it's just got to be a profit.
Let's actually working.
Okay.
I'm going to say, and I know this is out of like redneck. I think the ones that'll actually work, people that work on cars. I think on 100%. The side. I think on the side because I think, the dealership cost compared to what you could do, I think you can make a profit from that. I think, I know this is going to go against what Blake thinks, but social media. I think social media, if you stay persistent.
What do you mean? I was saying that social media is like probably one of the best.
Oh, I thought you were saying opposite.
Because it doesn't require, it's just consistency.
Yeah, see, I mean, if you're consistent with that, I think it'll work. I think
you can literally go home and spend 30 minutes to an hour. I don't know, making a video.
I will say
you did that like 3 times a week.
I think it's harder though to make side money now than what it was early 2000s, maybe late 90s. I think it would have been easier then because now, there's so many people trying to become millionaires, entrepreneurs, and because of social media, it's the smartphones. People see,
social media
this guy
really does rule the.
Well, they see that like
rule this generation.
They see, this one guy that owns a landscaping business, he's got, he's a millionaire, right? Well, that's because he's been doing landscaping since the early 2000s. Like he's been here before and beyond these companies we see now. So you can't go based off of like, he owns a landscaping company and I'm gonna do that, or I'm gonna be the next timber feller or whatever, like cutting timber, logger. Logging, which logging is much less now than what it was in your time. In your time, logging was much more of like a, like
it was pretty rough.
But that's kind of where I'm at. I don't think there's a lot of side hustles you can do. I mean, maybe pressure washing, but everybody's doing that.
Well, first off, if you're logging or if you're really in construction, you don't feel like doing a side hustle.
And I'm
but you also are being paid enough that you don't need a side hustle. Okay, I will say that.
Well, that's the next thing I want to get into.
But
construction.
But I'm gonna say two that just popped into my head as soon as this topic come up. So the first one is small engines.
Mm-hmm.
So do y'all understand that there is nobody that can fix your 4-wheeler or a lawnmower, and every one of them that does is so busy they can't keep up.
Right.
So if you can just twiddle with the lawnmower. So when you was talking about mechanics, the problem with the mechanics now is the vehicles are so AI.
Right. Yeah.
I'm sorry, but
so computer.
They're computers. So if you don't have the computer technology, it's hard to work on it. Whereas before, you took the carburetor off, you did whatever you did. Mm-hmm. I'm not a mechanic, so I have no idea what I'm talking about with that. But that was basically it. You could fix the truck, you could put it back on the road. You could change the U joints, and these are things that I know from my old Ford. I won't say what year. That'll show my age too much. But
probably
1983.
60s.
Oh, you're way. Thank you. 83. I'll take that. That was yes, sir.
Like
it was a 1983 Ford. Yes, that sounds a lot better than
more
reality.
Like a 1960s.
It was 18.
You're a little low. So right somewhere in the middle. All right. So it was a 1974 with a 3 on the tree, which some of y'all have no idea what I'm talking about. But it was a 3 on the tree. Oh, and it had a clutch. Something else y'all don't know nothing about.
Wow. You had to use your feet.
Y'all just push the gas and hit the brake. I mean, we actually had to use both feet. But
no, I'm sorry.
But funny. But yeah, so I think a small engine mechanic. And if you didn't like overwhelm yourself with like 200 lawnmowers that need a carburetor or whatever, and you could get the parts, that's a good side hustle. You could probably do it a few hours on the weekend. I'd pay somebody $150 because it's usually $150 just for them to look at it.
Right.
So, if you could get my lawnmower back, put blades on it for me, things like that. But the other one is, and I'm going to say this mostly because of my age group, hopefully older than me because I can still do this. But my mother would love to have somebody who would come and just clean her house, get the crap out that's been in there for 50 years because she's been living there for 50 years, and just take the junk off. And I see it on TV, like these junk removal places and all, but you got to understand, you got to have somebody that can work with them because she's going to want to keep some things because some things have a lot of memory. You can't just go throw everything out.
Right.
But also she needs like, maybe she needs a faucet fixed. Maybe she needs a little,
Like a handyman kind of thing.
A handyman, but a little more than a handyman. So I think that's a good side hustle because you could do that on the weekends, and in 3 weekends you could do everything that's been on her list since my daddy was alive that he never got done because he was always hunting and fishing. I think that would be a really good.
That's valid.
And I think that's for any age group really, because if you're working 60 hours a week and you need your yard cut, you telling me that none of us would pay somebody $50 to cut your yard real quick and nothing. You ain't got to pick up no limbs, just cut it.
Yeah, right.
Cut it and go home.
Well, now Blake, what do you think?
Like I want to do driveway.
Blake,
we can talk later.
$50.
What side hustles do you think actually work?
So what?
What side hustles do you think actually work?
Well, of course, I would say the top one nowadays. It would definitely be social media wise.
A lot more people are making money from that now.
That's awesome. So I get a check tonight.
Right. Yeah.
Right. I haven't got a check. Yeah.
I don't care about y'all. I'm worried about me.
Once we start getting one, you can get one.
I'm gonna pay him. I mean, we're just.
Hey, I want to be here for everyone, so I want the first 25 cents to come in.
I'm gonna start Blake on this
because lucky.
Well, hold on. So you say social media, but what's your second?
Second.
I just wondering.
I think second would be like maybe like art. Making stools and stuff like that on your side.
You talk about like custom made.
Yeah, woodcrafting, art, paintings. It's something that you enjoy doing, and you just do it, and then you try to sell it.
It's not really a job. It's more of a
It's like a hobby.
That's like a side.
It's like a It's like
I like that.
And then third,
I like that. I do.
I'd say like making your own products and selling it, making like a little thing out of it. Like maybe like T-shirts. Like how a lot of people did.
I'm curious to hear what Blake's got to say about this, though.
Okay.
What trends? And we're gonna start from Blake and work our way down this way because I'm just curious to hear this.
Man.
What trends do you think are overrated?
6'7".
6'7"
is so.
That is the dumbest
I don't even
thing.
know why that thing became a thing.
That's so stupid. Like, what is that?
I can't even count to 10 without losing my mind at this point.
So
I get to 5, and I start having to.
So real quick, while y'all are talking about this, I've heard it, but so what does 6'7" even mean?
It's a song, bro. It's a song.
Some little kid that goes like, I don't know, he did something.
It's a song. It's a song,
So-
and then he starts doing this 6'7" thing.
So is it kind of like the Baby Shark thing?
Yeah, it's kind of like that. It's
Okay,
kinda like
that's
that.
fair. Okay, at least I knew where it was. Okay.
It's kind of like
Because see,
that.
sometimes y'all go in places I don't understand, so I have to ask. So
It's kind of like that.
we're showing our age. for sure.
It's really it's the same thing, but people aren't gonna admit it's the same thing, but it's the same thing.
Okay, fair. That's fair.
It's a more of a grown up version of Baby Shark.
Okay.
But Blake, do you have anything else? Or that's kind of where you're gonna rest on that one?
I'm rested there.
Okay, Stanley, what trends do you see today that you think are overrated?
And I really didn't think about this while he was talking because I was so tied up with trying to figure out what 6'7" meant. But I mean, I'm just be honest.
Or if you want to skip to me and we'll
So
come back.
trends. Yeah, if you don't mind, skip and give me a second to think here.
All right, we're gonna come back to Stanley. My trend that I think is overrated, and it just might be a little outdated, a little bit.
Well, if we're going outdated,
But it's slightly, because people still do it.
You talking about the dances?
No,
No.
the stupid trucks. Why are you squatting trucks,
I
man?
totally forgot about that.
Bro,
It
what is
started.
that? So we obviously everybody knows we're in Carolina, right? What is up with this, dude? If all I can see is airplanes and spaceships, why do I care about having a squatted truck? I can't see any car on the roadway. And no woman wants to be with you, okay?
Oh my God.
I cannot stress this enough. If I drive a squatted truck like this,
Not only-
like this.
I've been
Okay.
I've been
Stand,
in
look,
one
stand,
before.
look.
Yes, it's like that. Yes,
Why?
like this.
What do I get from that?
I seen one today.
And then,
I see them every day.
then they have to go like
Oh my
this.
God.
I'm like, how do you drive like that
So-
for like the entire
So
time?
when you run grandmom over because she's in a little Honda Accord and you didn't see her at the stop sign, I mean, you're going to really regret
You
it.
can't
But-
see anything.
But beyond that, So I'm not
It's
even
not
a mechanic.
spaceships.
I'm not a mechanic. I have no idea what makes an engine move, but I do know this: an engine needs oil.
Right, it can't get at
So
the back of the
if
oil
it is
pan.
sitting like this, the oil has to be at the back of the pan, which is not where the oil pump is at. So what are y'all getting? Like 10,000 miles for your engine for blowing? Like, are you even getting that far?
I can support like a little lean, but you can still see the road.
Well, that's not even that's not even a
But,
squat.
All right, so from my time,
this is not a squat.
from my generation,
This is a squat.
so from my generation, and I also come from construction, so y'all got to understand, every day there was something in the back of my truck. So I
You
was
had
toting
the
a load.
lift. You were in the lift days.
No, my truck was, the front end was down, and we jacked the back end up so we could take more load.
right.
It was the exact opposite.
Yeah,
so
right.
if you put a boat on the back, it leveled out, and you backed into water, and you whatever. If you
Right.
put plywood in the back, it leveled out, and you drove straight.
Right.
So what is the advantage? And I know we invented it, the Carolina squat, and all that. I get it. I understand all that, and it's a fad. But why?
I just don't get
It goes against every thing. It's not safe. Number one, it's definitely not good for the motor. And number three, in my opinion, you look like an idiot.
So I'm a get.
I'm sorry, but you look like an idiot because you can't see nothing. But like you said, stars and spaceships.
I will say this: if your truck's sitting like this, there's a few problems. Number one, you look like a loser. Number two, like Stanley said, all your oil is in the back of the oil pan. Okay. Nobody, like, you're not getting oil to your lifters. Number one. All right. No, that's number two. Number three, your CV axles are at this extreme angle to reach your front tires if you have four-wheel drive. Unless you got straight axle four-wheel drive, which I guarantee you don't got.
Even if you do.
Even then,
things
so
have to
toasted.
tear up if you go off the road and have to use four-wheel drive.
Well,
it
and the
cannot
thing
work
is too,
right.
is Whistling Diesel had a whole video on this. He couldn't even see anything in front of him. So what is is that cool? If that's cool, I'd rather not be cool because
All
you're
right,
kind of
so
not cool.
Let's go
okay?
way back before y'all's time. So,
How do you
way,
even put
way
cups
back,
in your cup holders without them falling
way
over?
back
Just
in
spill
my...
out.
You definitely can't put a full beer in there and ride around.
Like you open his truck and you're looking at everything.
You put a beer in the cup holder, it pours out in the back. I mean,
yeah,
for
when
sure.
a cop stops you,
you're definitely going to jail.
Yeah, you're going to jail 100%.
Because that beer's definitely going to spill in the back. I mean,
they're going to smell it.
How do you put stuff
over
in the trunk?
It's going to fall out.
Actually, that's very easy because you can get your kids to put it in there because it's just almost at their height.
Yeah,
I mean, so they can load the back of the
your
truck.
bed's 2 foot off the ground.
Maybe
Your front end's
benefit.
8 foot.
Maybe.
Hey, and how do you look at your hood? This is another thing.
How do you check your oil?
This is another thing.
How do you check your oil?
This is how you know you're a beta
Your
male.
oil just dropped down.
You got to climb from the back of the truck over the cab.
Well, this is where I'm getting with this. You're a beta male if you have a squatted truck because you can't even check your own oil.
You can't be an alpha.
No, you can't check your own oil.
There's no way you're an alpha male.
How do you fill your oil? No, you got to pay a mechanic to go and get on a ladder to fill your oil.
There's my side. That's my
new
new side hustle. I'm gonna start showing y'all how to make a nice, sexy truck that is level
and lifted.
And
there's nothing wrong with lifting.
and lifted. And if you don't believe me, one day I'll show y'all my truck.
Pause.
It's sexy. She is so sexy.
I know.
I
mean,
want
my
to say
truck is
this.
sexy.
I want to say it. I want to say this. There is nothing wrong with lifting your truck. Okay, you want to lift your truck, put some nice meaty tires under it.
Yeah,
that's cool. When you start doing this whole squat thing, brother, listen.
Yo,
I've actually seen some squatted vehicles where they're big, where the front tires are bigger than their back.
No, and I have. I've seen it too.
Because they want to get it more, or they don't know how to squat the front enough to get the the back to get the
but
front. I'm
enough
sorry.
with that.
I'm so confused.
Enough with the trucks. It's Stanley's turn.
Oh man,
When
that was definitely one.
Yeah,
I got another thing about
ahead.
sports cars. You know how they have their tires are like this?
Yeah,
Oh.
and then when
Okay,
I
I want to get a Mustang. I don't plan on
so
doing
I
that
have
at
a
all.
major I have a major question about that. Does that break the axle? Does that break the axle?
I'm sure it does
I
eventually.
don't know how that
Is that a smooth ride? Because the
I don't know.
idea of the tread being on the road is it throws water and stuff out so that you stay connected to the road so you don't hydroplane.
But I'd rather have a 1/4 inch on the road. That way I can lose control and hit a tree.
Yeah, if I only got that much, I mean, that sounds like a great idea to me.
Like, it doesn't make sense.
It's kind of like this squatted truck. I don't want to see what's in front of me. I'll just run it over.
And you don't see a lot of that. You don't-
the
you don't-
white screen.
So all right. So I got a good way to compare this.
Okay.
So every ambulance and fire truck you see go down the road, they're squatted, man, because they don't want to see what's in front of them. I'm pretty sure as much as they're toting all kind of stuff in there. They're toting gear to get in houses, fight fires, protect you, get you out of cars, jaws of life. All them cars are just leveled out. Never one time do you see a commercial vehicle that's squatted in the back end unless it is loaded down with so much stuff that they're taking it to a job to do
Imagine
a job
a
site.
semi truck going down the road squatted.
Let me get back in. You're driving down the road, the doors actually. Oh, I forgot.
We're like
shut the
the-
doors, so that 80,000 pounds I got in the back just rolled out the back on the interstate.
Yikes. I didn't
No,
think
because
about
like basically
Oh, man.
you know how there's like 2 tires in the back of it. Only the second set would just be in the air. It wouldn't
So
even
I
touch
want
the ground.
I want to go further in this list. So I'm gonna get through my trends real quick. So I got one trend, and I may not get past this first one, but parenting.
Oh,
Holy
gosh.
crap, dude! What has happened with parents? Do you not like? I'm sorry, and this might get like, and y'all stop me if I go way out of there, but where are y'all at for these kids? Like, the parent. So my dad used to like tear my butt up if I got in trouble, and now it seems
gosh.
like kids are
Oh,
the kids
gosh.
run, and I think this goes back to the cell phone thing, in my opinion, because they learn so much faster than we did. But man, love your family, and not only the kids, but love your parents. Like,
can't even
you know
discipline your
what,
kids
your
now
your
without
parents probably put diapers
getting
on you, and one
vulnerable.
day you might have to put diapers on your parents. But love them. Like, try to give them a way to succeed in life. If it wasn't for my parents, I would not have succeeded.
I will say this.
Mhm.
You know, and I can speak from Blake. I can speak for Blake on this. I remember the flute. You know, you'd hear it flying through the air before it even hits you.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it would whistle.
Blake-
Yeah, 100%, absolutely.
You know, Blake used to get beat with a flute, and I will tell you what. You know, and I don't ever claim child abuse. I don't claim that.
No,
I think that
I would be
Yeah.
scared my dad would come out of the grave and whip my butt if I claimed child abuse.
I think that I am very thankful and glad that I got what I had, because I'd have been definitely much worse.
Mhm.
I used to get.
And I don't know if this is a trend, but it's just,
Well, it's
in my
definitely a
opinion,
thing.
it seems like it's a trend.
It's definitely a thing because people don't believe in the whole beating your kid anymore.
That's not like beating the shit.
Well,
out
and
of
when I
them.
say
That's like,
beating, like it's not beating like I'm punching.
You're
the
not
kid
hurting
in the
them.
face.
Like,
But like
This-
even the Bible says you're not going to kill your kid. Like you can spank your kid. Like I got tore up if I got in trouble at school. If I didn't say yes sir, no sir, yes ma'am, no ma'am,
That was a big one.
I got tore up. Like it was nothing to get obliterated for doing stupid stuff, and I call it stupid because it's stupid. I mean,
We were being dumb.
yeah. I mean,
We were doing stupid stuff.
then
But
I look back at myself.
but how can you understand what payment for a job is if you don't get paid, if that makes sense? So if you're
Right.
disciplined, you don't know what bad behavior is if you've never been told it's bad behavior.
yeah, no, and it sticks.
You don't
with
know what's right and wrong.
You have no idea because it's like the Wild West.
Yeah.
So it's like when they were like carrying out to California, well, they didn't know they was gonna find gold. They were told there was gold out there, but they just did whatever they wanted to do because there was no law. And then they had like one sheriff, and then now we are to where we're at today. But y'all, it starts with like the parents, and so when you talk about the phones, as we talked about earlier, so I'm kind of wrapping it all into one thing, but everything we talked about tonight comes back to that. So you can give them the phones at 3, I don't care. You can give it to them at 5 if they know how to properly use it, if they're looking at the proper things. If they're disciplined right, guess what? They won't have a squatted truck.
Yeah.
They'll know better because they know the engine won't run right. And even if they make a mistake, they'll have the background to bounce back from it and become successful in life.
Oh, I want to kind of
And
skip.
so I think that's kind of a trend.
I kind of want to skip forward to the next topic, which is going
Let's
to be
go.
the topic that
Let's go.
I think this
Let's
topic
go.
here is going to definitely invest some time. Are all generations different? And this is coming from, so me and Blake come from young generation. When I say young generation Z, I'm not talking about like the younger. Like we're borderline millennial generation Z. and I kind of want to start this off. And I work my way down
So
from
there's what, a 30-year age gap? Is that fair to say?
20.
20? Okay,
20.
so a 20-year age gap between us.
You know, your Generation X, I'm young Generation Z. Young Generation Z. Our generation is different. And I want to start this off because before I go to Stanley, I will be the first one to tell you. And a lot of Gen Z people are not going to tell you this, but I will be the first one to tell you because I wasn't raised like a traditional. I don't think I was raised probably more millennial ish, and that is they are different. Yeah, you know, you had the boomers, right? You had the boomers, which were like work, which were the parents for a lot of generational X's, which were like Stanley's generation, right?
Yep.
So they come up in the generation
I'm
of
almost in the boomer. I'm like half boomer, half X.
well, you come up in the era of like you couldn't sit in the house, like you come up in that era of like
Yeah.
That's such a joke. That's such a joke.
well, and
No,
like
he's right though. That is true.
That's right.
well, and like for me when I was coming up, like we were allowed to play video games and do stuff, and I know this is a little different than like your generation time. We were allowed to do those things, but also we were not allowed to. You had to still go pick up a stick, go throw a rock, go like go explore the woods, go do stuff.
Pick up limbs.
And I can't say that for every Generation X though person. Like I can't say that for every Generation Z person.
Absolutely not.
I'm sorry I said X, but Z. I can't say that for every Generation Z person because not every Gen Z person had it like that. And I had it where, you could play video games, you could do that stuff, but you had to be outside the house at certain times.
Yeah.
Whether it was picking up sticks, whether
Playing
it was
games is
grass.
like something you would do at nighttime.
That was kind of like a reward,
Yeah.
for us, And I know during your time y'all had
agree.
the Atari and y'all had Mario and y'all had all
We
that
had
stuff.
Nintendo.
But before I pan over to you,
At the end,
I want to say that most Gen Z people, I think that's the reason they're lazy. They weren't made to work. They weren't made to do things. I think a lot of Gen Z parents were like, "Well, I had it this bad. I don't want to put this on my kids," and they didn't beat their kids, didn't make their kids do things. And don't get me wrong, I was made to do things. I was made to get my ass cut. I got all that, But I can't say that for all of Gen Z. Gen Z is kind of leading the way right now with unemployment and screaming this, screaming that. Not doing what they're supposed to be doing. But that's kind of where I rest my case. I'll pan it over to you, Stanley.
all right. So let me explain how I was brought up. Almost the same. You pretty much hit it with the. If I was inside before dark, that was a negative. They definitely my job as a kid was to get up, maybe. All right, so my Saturdays were hunting and fishing. So I thank the Lord for my father who taught me how to hunt and fish and
That's another thing
to survive. If I was somehow on an airplane and got deserted somewhere, I do believe I could survive. I watch these Naked and Afraids and all these things on TV, and I think I could. I didn't gonna say I could play the game right, but I could live.
Right.
I could live. Okay.
Right.
It was 100% you did not come back till dark. But if you did, that was because you fell in the pond or you were wet and you needed to change clothes or something because you were gonna play a different game. Games were very simple. I played baseball with a cork screw. It was like the cork that goes in a wine bottle, and we took a broomstick. That's how we learned how to hit baseballs. And you could throw it. I mean, you could flick it with your fingers, and I mean, you talking about that thing could curve and all kinds of stuff. But when you was talking about like cell phones earlier, so there was no cell phones back then. So to go to your friend's house and hang out, you might ride a bike 2 miles. Some of us was lucky enough they lived in the same neighborhood with us, and we would play basketball. But y'all, we played basketball and football or baseball, or we shot each other with BB guns.
Yeah, that's non-existent.
Like,
now.
I can imagine like they would probably get arrested. for some of the things I did.
Oh yeah.
You know,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. Nobody told on us because they were shooting us back. Like
Right.
I took just as many beatings as they did. Some days you won, some days you didn't. We fought with fists. There was no knives even in our fights. Like we fought with fists. You know, if you got in a fight, you know, like the guy across the road, you punched him in his mouth, and he punched you back, and then 2 days later you're in his house, and his mom's making you a sandwich or something. I mean, that's just kind of how it was. It wasn't. It wasn't like it is today. We did have video games, and I do agree with what you said. You play that at night. So I had a bedtime. There was no stay up to whenever you want to go to sleep. It was definitely a bedtime. And you 100%, if you were good, you got to play the game, which for me, it was like Nintendo was the first like real, Mario Brothers was like the first kind of like cool game we had. And everybody was hooked on that. But until the day was over, you didn't play these games. You didn't do none of that.
Right.
We didn't have cell phones. We didn't have a way to just turn so the biggest thing that we didn't have was there was no reason to be inside because there was only 3 channels on TV. So let me explain this. If the president was on, he was on all 3 channels. So why be inside? If the news was on, it was on all 3 channels. So why be inside? And if it wasn't those, the soap operas were on. So we didn't have a reason to be inside.
Right.
So it was better to be outside playing with sticks or shooting each other with BB guns or whatever because there was no reason to be inside. Now kids will not go outside to even get the mail because it's too hot and they'll have to leave their cell phone behind because they're whatever, streaming or chatting or whatever with their friends. So it's definitely a huge difference. And that kind of goes back to what we started earlier with the cell phones and all and AI. AI is only going to make people more lazy than we were when I grew up.
Oh yeah.
And I'm not saying that made me, you know, big bad and whatever, but I promise you I had to work harder for the few things I had in life than the kids do today. And you're right about giving to our kids because I wanted my daughter to have way more than I did, so I bought her everything. She's spoiled ass rotten, and she might watch this and see that, but I bought her everything because I didn't get it. Right. You know, I remember mom and dad going, well, maybe next year. You know, maybe next year. So, yeah, I think we do spoil them too much.
Blake, what do you think
well,
are the biggest, and compared to your dad, you know, if you got a...
You know, when I was younger, I don't believe I got a phone until I was like 14.
Oh, I had to have been, yeah.
And, I was mostly homeschooled, you know, until like 8th or 9th grade. But you know, yeah, it was like so. Basically, during the day, you're outside. Hanging inside wasn't really an option. So when I was younger, majority of things I did was, you know, you'd just be outside, or you'd be picking up limbs, or you'd be working in the yard, helping him do something, or I'd be out in the woods with me and my brothers, and we'd be building a fort.
Right.
So
yes,
I forgot about the fort building. Yeah,
that's stuff that people don't even think about now. You know,
man, building a little treehouse by yourself, you and your buddy, and like
we had a crazy.
How we didn't break our neck because we didn't even know how to, really drive the nails in there.
We got lucky enough to have some little 4-wheelers and stuff, and you know, like what you said earlier, how it's kind of like a reward to get on the game because at the end of the day, after when you've been productive all day, you know, because we'll do our schoolwork and then we'll go outside and then we'll come back in and do our schoolwork. It was like back and forth with it. So late at night, we'd probably get like an hour or 2 on the game. So
absolutely.
And I remember playing Smash Bros. In a little cube. Remember, we used to have that little PlayStation 2, and we would play that Star Wars game. Oh,
dude, that was so fun, man.
And you know, because it was more like it wasn't something you did all the time, but what I see in kids nowadays. I mean, it's always about Fortnite. It's always about something, you know, VR, especially VR. You know, I hop on VR and and there'll be like some games, and it's just majority of the time it's just little kids.
Well, like, they get home from school, man.
You sound like you're 8.
Well, they get home from school, and that's the first thing they do.
Well, and that
no, in the middle of the freaking day.
But that's all they do. Like, so they don't. I don't think they even know how to do stuff outside, and that's my generation's fault because for me, I thought my growing up was harsh. Oh my God, it was so bad. But to be honest with you, it's the only reason that I ended up being what I consider successful in my life right now. But, and it, was able to pick myself up from some pretty hard hits in life. But the kids today, you say go to the mailbox, they're like, it's too hot.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to take your phone from you, and they will cry for like 2 or 3 days because they don't know how to operate. They really don't.
I think that's a good spot to cut this off at. I think that was definitely a lot to share with these guys. If you enjoyed what we put out, like, comment, subscribe. We definitely intend on having Stanley on for more to come.
I'm ready to come anytime y'all want me.
Y'all forgot any topics, just let us know.
And if y'all like me out there, y'all let them know so they'll invite me back so I can come back. And y'all definitely like and subscribe so I can come back.
But yeah, we'll cut out.